Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. This is a video I've been wanting to make for about 2 years now, and it's all because of that space there. Stay tuned. So this space means the V8 engine is out of its hiding hole and it's now on the crane. I'll be getting shouted at in the comments in here. I've just got it strapped up around about the manifold just now, basically because I need to take the oil pan off first, put the new oil pan on, and these manifolds will be coming away anyway, so even if I crack them or anything, that's okay. So that's just temporary till we get that done, and then after that, then I need to work my way through all these parts that I got about 1.5 years ago or something. So I'll need to read up on what everything is again. A couple engine mounts here, starter motor, clutch, adapter plate for the new CD00A gearbox. So it's like the predecessor of the CD09, so the most up-to-date one. And intake manifold, pages and pages of instructions, how to fit the various components. One thing I'll probably get flamed again for is I'm keeping the aircon in this car because I've been in my mate's V8 and it was roasting. So yeah, I'm going to keep the aircon. Is it here? In fact no, it's a 350Z aircon pump that goes back on, so there's adapter plates for it. So I'll have one of those up on the shelves. These videos will be out of sequence a little bit. By the time you watch this video, then the underside of the car video will be done. I'm just waiting on the powder coaters coming back with all my subframes and stuff, and then we get that buttoned up, so that should have been in the last video. And by that point the brakes and everything should be back on, all the suspension parts, all these parts I've been doing myself. So we've got them all sandblasted in the cabinet, some rust treatment on them, and 2 coats of metal paint, and I've got some new bearings there for the front and the back. So it came up really nice. So as I say in the video previous to this, all this should have been on with the new bushings, and the underside of the car will look nothing like this. Maybe even be down off the ramps by that point, we'll see. So yeah, I'm going to take the oil pan off first and then we'll just get rolling with it. I don't know which way we're doing this engine. I know there's a lot of things to come off and a lot of things to go back on it, but it's all learning for me. I'm just going to need to work my way through it, make mistakes as I go along probably, and fix them. So yeah, I suppose we better start. I'm pretty sure there'll still be oil in this, but one way to find out. Well, that was quite easy to come off. Surprised, to be fair. It's got a gasket here, just with a rubber gasket, I suppose. Metal gasket with a rubber trim around about it that seals it, and there's a little blob of silicone just in each corner. So yeah, once the bolts were out, it just fell away. And happy as well, even though there's only maybe a litre of oil in it, there's not any sign of any metal in it, which is good. So next, under here, I need to take off the oil pickup line and the dipstick, put on the new parts from LOJ. So that's the pickup. It sits, so the deeper end of the pan sits to the front of the engine this time. So the pickup's shorter. We've got a new gasket here from them, and the new dipstick sits at the other side as well. So we need to, this little tiny little disc needs to be hammered in to the old dipstick hole. Some new hardware for it. So everything seems straightforward. I'm going to give the underside a clean, just take off the oil and the little bits of silicone that are stuck on the corners, make sure that's all clean, take off the other parts, and then we'll get the compressed air, we'll blow this out and give that a clean with some brake cleaner. But the only thing I did notice is I don't have, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to have, is the oil filter. So obviously this is where the oil filter will go, but there's nothing with this kit, which I'm not sure is correct or whether I'm supposed to buy something else. It's not a hassle. I don't think that bolts off. We'll get a look at it anyway. Maybe this one bolts off. No, I don't think so. Anyway, we'll sort that out in the future. So yeah, I'll get to work doing this. Done. That was easy. I hope the rest of all the bits we have to do to this engine go that easily. So this will be the dipstick plug, but I'm going to leave that until I've got the engine mounts off and possibly the headers, because it needs to come up this way somewhere. So we'll leave that to maybe sorted out the headers as well, and also the old dipstick, which starts up here and runs down into this hole here. So that needs to come out, and I need to put a little plug into it, but you can't get into it until you again take the manifolds off, headers, whatever you want to call them, and the starter motor. So once you take them off, then I'm getting to put that little plug in there. So yeah, that's step one done. That's a little plug there, I'll leave that on, leave the dipstick somewhere so I know where everything is. And then obviously the other side we're talking about the oil filter, which you may or may not be able to see. 2 holes there, in and out. Need to find something to put an oil filter somewhere, whether it's located there, if it needs to go somewhere else due to space, we'll find that out. So yeah, on to the next thing. I might see what the engine mounts are like. I'm going to put this back onto the pallet and maybe get a tyre or something to sit it on so it's kind of cushioned, and that lets me get everything else off, get a clutch and stuff off, put all that on. But now I'm going for my dinner, so I'll come back to this in a bit. Hopefully this is another easy job. I am going to fit the engine mounts now. Now this engine was in a kit car, maybe an AC Cobra type kit car, so it's already had like engine mounts put on, so it's got this bit of steel here with this other mount on it. And I think, trying to work out the bolts, I think the bolts we need to go in there and there. So take all this off and that'll be mounting points in there. So I'm just going to take the strap off as well and take the manifolds off just to make it easier. Hopefully they come out quite nice. You might be wondering what all this is. Now when I bought the engine, the place I bought it from was GWB, I can't remember, it was a breaker's yard, and for some reason they marked everything on it. Maybe some sort of liability thing when I bought it. So yeah, hopefully that will all come off. Should do, it's just some white paint then. So yes, manifolds off, and then this, and bolt them on. Hopefully this should be a 10-minute job. Fingers crossed.
I should be leaving. Hear what I say without even speaking. My compass is off, why did I choose you? I'm just too lost, I need to cut loose. I keep it in my head, I keep it locked away. My friends think that this is over. Guess it's the price I pay. Played with the enemy, now I got you on my shoulders. Let go and let me love, let me let go and let me.
Okay folks, it's a new day. Last time we done was put the flywheel on. I've still to take the bolts back off and put the assembled lubricant on and torque them up to, what does it say, 85 foot-pounds of torque. One little disappointment last night, and I've never checked this stuff's been sitting here for say about a year and a half, is I assumed that the clutch and the pressure plate was in the same package as the flywheel. It was just a sealed packet. I just remembered to and drop down menu selecting the clutch I wanted, and there was a bit of back and forth with this kit. Due LOJ Conversions, a big company that do the kits for America basically, so there's a few differences. The right hand drive market, like the manifolds and wiring harnesses, so we went back and forth and changed a few things, and maybe the clutch has been knocked off the order because I checked my list that I got last night and it wasn't there. So right now at this stage I'm clutchless, so I'll need to figure that one out. But anyway, today we'll get that on, and we've got all the parts laid out here. We've got the adapter plate for the gearbox, new starter motor, all the parts we need for the 350Z alternator and power steering pump. Hopefully the instructions are good. Also the conversion kit for the air conditioning, fluid dampener main pulley, and we've found the oil filter relocation kit, so that's a bonus. At least we found that. Lost a clutch, but anyway, found that. So I'm going to get as much of that done today as possible. So hopefully, so we need to take this off and this off, and yeah, see where else we get to. So I'm just going to plod on with it, and hopefully by the end of the day it's all buttoned up.
It's funny how my heart is wired. It doesn't make any sense to me, but who am I to question my feelings? I'm leaving you for someone else, but it's not who you might think it is. It's someone who you're already loving. I've been over this for a long time now, and I finally know where my heart is. This is our last kiss, and I hope you know that I thank you for making me see it.
Right, job done. That was a bit of a pain in the butt because of this, but we got there. So a little issue, see, with the starter motor. So looking, there's no instructions for this. Hang on, try and turn the camera the right way. So I'm assuming, which you probably shouldn't do, that it goes this way. Am I talking rubbish? Yeah, it goes this way, sorry. goes that way according to where the bolts are. Here and here, matches up with these two. On the other side, this piece that sticks out here is knocking onto it. So this is where it'll sit. It'll sit there and tight up to the engine there. It still needs to go in maybe 10mm or something, and that's the only bit that's foul on it. So I'm going to do a little bit of research, Google it, and see if that's something that needs to be cut off, and if it does, then we'll just go about cutting that off, and then we know that's going to fit. Now I think I'll have to double check, I'm not sure, I think this does get mounted to the plate, or whether it gets mounted straight through the gearbox. I'll figure that out shortly. So yeah, I'll do a bit of research, and then you might see me taking a grinder or something to this. So YouTube to the rescue, and yep, that bit does need cut off, so I'm just going to get the goggles on and start cutting it now.
I feel better on the weekend. Give my life a better meaning.
That would have been so much easier to cut if I knew about it before we put this on. It still needs a little bit cut off this side. I've tried to keep the grinder touching this, so I've cut as much away as possible. But yeah, this side just needs another 1/4 inch off it, which is going to be fun. Yeah, all those DeWalt batteries that I've got, and everyone died. So I'm left with one that's got 3 charges on it, and that's it until the rest charge. So it's going to be awkward to get into this, but I'll try my best. I never bothered filming that, but it was easy enough. As you can see, just take a little corner off this one, and then take this one back flush with the oil pan. That's what we needed to get it to line up, so that's that bit done thankfully. And we'll move on to the front now.
Tell you how I feel, but it's like talking to a wall when you don't look at me. Please just look at me. I'm a ticking time bomb that goes off easily. You always know which buttons you should push, baby. I'm a ticking time bomb that goes off easily.
That's us starting to look the part now. The last thing I'm going to do just now is fit the air comp pump and the bracketry, and then I seen this belt and I'm thinking, wonder where that belt goes. Yeah, it goes on the back rib in there, so I need to take this belt back off. The joys of doing things for the first time. So I'm not going to lie, that was rather enjoyable. Everything bolted up the way it should do. This is obviously the oil filter relocation kit. You see me putting it down in there. It gets bolted up here, but the other bolt is here. It's on the engine hoist, so that's just leftless just now. So yeah, everything's attention to details really nice, and everything fitted the way it should. So I think that'll do it for this video. That's all the parts I had lying here, apart from the starter motor which got bolted through the gearbox, and the new pulley, but I'm pretty sure it's the same as the old pulley. So for the moment that's just not going to go on because I measured it, it's all the same size. Some nuts and bolts and bits left for doing the clutch, which will be the next video. I'll get a clutch and we'll get that fitted and put the gearbox on, and there's a new linkage for the back of the gearbox, so we'll do that in the next video. But for now guys, thank you very much for tuning in. See you next time.
Always know which buttons you should push, baby.